When I had only one premium client, one client that had paid me $10,000, I remember I talked about this client, not mentioning their name, not mentioning anything personal, but I just talked about every single one of the sessions that we had because they were so powerful. And I would just say, today I was speaking to a client, or the other day I had a session with a client and they were telling me how they were struggling with X. And here's how I guided them through that. Or here's what we did on the session. And here's where they ended up. And I just completely talked about this client as if it was, as if I had 100 clients, but I would just talk about every single one of the sessions. So you guys, let's say you offer 6 months of coaching. And each one of those packages has 3 coaching calls a month. You have essentially 24 opportunities to write about the same client, even if you get no more clients in 6 months. It's your job to really focus on what you do have. If you have one client, treat that as if you had 100 of them. Welcome to Exposed, the show that gives you the raw truth about what it really takes to build a multi-million-dollar coaching business and a life that you're obsessed with. I'm your host, Juliana Garcia, marketing strategist and master coach. And after building a multi-million-dollar business from scratch, each week, I want to take you behind the scenes with actionable business strategies and profound mindset shifts to help you create wealth from the inside and out, so that you can become the exception to the rule in the coaching industry. I'm exposing the uncomfortable truths, the failures, and the topics that most podcasts don't dare to talk about. So let's dive into today's episode. Welcome everyone to part 3 of this tiny series that I created on the art of magnetizing pre-motivated, pre-sold dream clients to your consults. I am so excited for this episode because I decided to record it at a different time, because I had a personal story that I wanted to share with you that I wasn't ready to share when I recorded the first 2 parts. If we do a little recap, the first part was all about your best client. Then the second part was all about you being sold on why this is the best thing for your client and you being sold on you being the best coach for your client. And if you are in the energy of those 2 things, of course, you show up consistently. You show up because you cannot not show up, because it's part of your legacy, it's part of your vibe, it's part of who you are here to do. So that's the vibe. Now, on this part, the last step, when we think about clients who are ready to be a yes, think about yourself. Like, what would it take for you to be a yes even before you get on a call with somebody? Even if they don't have a call, what would it take for you to feel like this is the best thing for me? And today I want to talk about something more practical. And I want to give you an example. So I am thinking about freezing my eggs. And I've heard so many stories that are like contradictory about what it takes, what the experience is like. And to me, it's been something that's been on my mind for maybe like 2 years at this point. I never really wanted to have kids my whole life, but I actually had a partner and I fell very deeply in love with him. And it was the first time that I ever felt like, wow, I want to have someone's kids. That's when I knew that I really wanted to be a mom. And this happened probably 4 years ago. But it wasn't a priority in my brain. Like I wouldn't have gone to freeze my eggs at the time. Egg freezing is a huge investment. And it's probably around $20,000 and plus lab work, time. I mean, there's just so much. The investment it's a lot. And when you think about it, it's not just about the egg freezing, but it's also about your experience during, like how it impacts your body. It impacts your body in so many ways. You essentially are like pumping a lot of hormones in your body, which is another reason why I didn't want to do it. I just never wanted, I have never been on the pill. I just have never messed around with my hormones. I have really like predictable cycles. I don't have PMS or any of that. So I just didn't want to mess with it. And so freezing my eggs was also something that felt like a big risk, even though the payoff would have been the peace of mind that I didn't have to think about it, that I would always have an option. But it just never was one of those things that I was like, okay, I'm ready to invest thousands and thousands of dollars to do it. So I want to talk about my decision in freezing my eggs and how it relates directly with the art of magnetizing pre-sold clients that are a yes, even when you charge a premium price. So when you think about egg freezing, it's expensive. It's a lot. Like it's not cheap. It's not pennies on the ground, at least here in America. And when you think about coaching, whatever it is that you're coaching on, let's say that you have a premium price, people are going to have thoughts about it. That is too expensive. That is a lot of money. And maybe they're going to try to find a cheaper option, a cheaper solution. And so it's always our job to make it so easy for our future clients or our current audience to be a yes to this opportunity right now. So let me show you how this happened for me. So A, is expensive. That's one thing. B, it's going to be a process. Like it's going to take something. I don't know if I'm going to be like, there's a lot of thoughts that I have about it. There's a lot of health related things. So it's not just pay the money, get the result, right? It's pay the money and go through a process that is going to be pretty intense. And I don't know, I wasn't clear on what the steps are. Like, what is the actual process in order to freeze your eggs? especially when you have so many different voices in your mind, like it went well, it didn't go well. It's so similar to coaching, right? Like some people have an amazing experience. Some people are like, it didn't work for me, et cetera, et cetera. So of course, that's going to create a barrier of doubt or of entry to somebody being a yes on your consult. But here are the things that made it simple for me to be a yes and for me to actually lean into the process and lean into the price tag and lean into being open to really letting the process be what it's going to be. So, number one, I noticed that when I was doing the research of all the clinics and talking to people, I noticed everybody had a different experience and everyone had a kind of like this mysterious way of approaching it. Like they didn't really tell you much. Like every single one of the clinics, I went on their website and they just didn't have a clear process on what it's going to take. And then I came across this one clinic that actually guided, like explained more clearly what to expect. And not just like, here's a consult, we're going to give you a plan and we'll see. First, you have to pay $300 or $600 out of pocket in order just to talk to somebody. There's this one clinic that actually helped me kind of understand, even before I pay them, what I could expect and answer all the questions that I had in terms of the fears that I had and the reasons why it could go a little bit difficult for different people or why it could be an experience that everybody has a different take on. And this clinic really guided me through the process and explained to me like what the stages are or what I can expect. And obviously it's different for everyone. It's the same thing with your clients, right? Like so many of my clients come to me and they're like, but Juliana, every one of my clients has a different experience. Every one of my clients has a different result. And not everyone fits the same cookie cutter approach. And I'm like, that I totally understand that. And in order for us to make it easy for our clients to be a yes, we must have a process that guides people through a story of what they can expect. Like you need to paint the picture of what it would look like for them to go through your program. And this is why I help my clients create a signature methodology. A signature methodology is something that can put the logic of your potential client at ease because it takes them through the process of, okay, you're going to start here, then this is what we're going to do. And then after that, here's what we're going to do. And then after that, here's what we're going to do. So it can seem like a very simple thing. But the mistake that coaches make when they come up with their own signature method or with their own process is that they talk about it in coach terms. Let's say, for example, they use words like, we're going to do some inner child healing so that you can heal all your wounds and all the things in the past that are holding you back from being the person that you want to be today. Let me tell you something. That sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a lot of pain. People don't want to face their inner child like people don't want to face their past. People don't want to look at all the things that they've been avoiding. You're trying to sell them something that they've been avoiding their whole life. So you're selling the wrong thing. You're selling the thing that you know as a coach is what they need, but you're not selling the thing, their result, their transformation that they're going to experience. Like what's the benefit of healing your inner child wounds? What's the benefit of that? And you need to describe it and articulate it in the language that your client is currently saying that they want. So let's say inner child wounds is the process that you know they need to go through, that you're going to take them through. Okay, so what's the result of healing your inner child wounds? I mean, this can apply to business, to health, to relationships. Literally, healing your inner child is basically the solution to pretty much everything. There's so many things that are a lot of things. But let's say that if you are a relationship coach, you're not going to say, we're going to go and heal our childhood wounds in order for you to, be the woman that you want to be for forever or whatever, so that you can live free and happy. That's not what people are going to buy. What they're going to buy is what they're thinking, which is, I want to attract emotionally available men, are committed minded, that want to express their emotions, that want to hold me in all my emotions, and who are willing and ready to be in a marriage. Like you don't want to keep on dating emotionally unavailable men. That is the part of the process that you need to adjust and reword so that it conveys the value of going through the process of healing your inner child wounds. You don't even need to talk about inner child wounds. That doesn't even have to be in your marketing. It just doesn't have to be. You can, as long as you tie it to the result that doing all that work is going to create for them. So often my clients start removing all that language and all that coach speak and all the therapy speak and all the jargon, and simply they just clean that up and they stop using that and they just start focusing on what does the client need in order to feel safe in this process. And in order for the client to feel safe in the process, all they need to know is that at each step of the journey while working with you, they are going to get what they want every step of the way. So for example, when I talk about the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, the first thing that I say is, I'm going to help you elevate the quality of clients you attract, because right now you are attracting clients who are not the right fit for you, and that is chipping away at your confidence. And you want clients who are committed, who show up in a premium way. And that is the first thing that we are going to do. I'm going to guide you through an exercise that is going to make it so clear so that you stop attracting people that don't pay you on time, that complained, and that are not the right fit for you, period. That's it. In my marketing, I'm not going to start going into every single exercise, everything that you're going to do is because that's not what you're interested in. You just care about the transformation and the result. You just care about, okay, whatever you do, as long as I get the result, I'm in, right? The second thing I help my clients with is I help you create a signature method so that you become the only one in your entire niche that has that process that allows people to feel safe in their purchasing decision. It's a process that is going to allow you to create repeatable results so that you strengthen your reputation in the coaching industry, so that you have a process that you can sell over and over and over again, that you can turn into a course, into a mastermind, but it's the thing that you're going to be known for and that is going to allow your clients to relax. So just imagine what it would feel like for you even to know that the coach that you want to hire has a process that is proven, a process that you can trust, a process that they're going to guide you through. That would feel like they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. Like you can trust that they're going to have a plan to get you from A to Z. It's the same thing for your clients. They want to feel like you know how you're going to get them from A to Z. And that is why having a signature method is so important. Now, the mistake that people make, as I said, is that they use jargon language in order for them to describe each one of the steps. And what I help my clients with that I want you to take away from this is notice, are you using words that they say, that your ideal client says that they want? And if not, this is why, even if you have a current process that you're selling, that's why people are not buying from you. They're not coming pre-sold, pre-motivated because they don't understand the importance of whatever it is that you are saying that they need in order to get to from point A to point Z. So creating a process is essential, is really important, and make sure that you are using words that your client will want. Like every single step of your process should be worded in a way that your client feels like, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Like if you go to the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind sales page, every single one of the steps, it's something that my clients say, yep, I want that. Yep, I want that. So when it came to egg freezing, I knew that it was going to be an investment, and I knew that I was a little bit hesitant, scared about what the process would look like. But when I found this one clinic that actually guided me through every single one of the steps, and in their marketing, they were so clear on, okay, the first thing that you're going to do is this. The second thing that we're going to talk about is that. And here's how we're going to make sure that you are positioned in the best way possible to have minimal side effects. We're going to create a plan for you to actually prepare for that. All of that helped me feel like, okay, these people, are they the best clinic? I don't know. Could another clinic that's more expensive or less expensive be a vibe? Potentially, but they got me enrolled simply by explaining the process that they were going to take me through, even though it can look very different for every single one of their clients. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing, what got me pre-sold, pre-motivated, and enrolled to sign up for this egg freezing journey, it's a couple of things. So one, the main thing that I want you to know is word of mouth is truly one of the most important things that we can have as coaches and as business owners. I actually got referred to this clinic by a friend. And just a simple fact that a friend had gone to it or that a friend had recommended it already made me feel more sold, already made me feel like I would trust this clinic more than a stranger, more than a random clinic. This is what happens with your clients because every coach out there, I know that you guys want more eyes and you want to go viral and you want to have more new people in your world. But here's why that's actually not what's going to solve your money problems or your client enrollment problems. Imagine you have a bunch of strangers. Let's say you get 1 million followers tomorrow. All these people are not going to know you from a bar of soap. You are a stranger. Even if you get all the visibility available, you are a stranger. You're going to have to start from the very beginning, building trust, letting them get to know you. You're going to need a lot of touch points for them to be like, okay, I want to pay you $10,000 or I want to pay you even $100. You are going to need to build trust. So that's why I always say that the people that are around us, the audience that we currently have, we must treat them as the best clients that we could possibly have available to us because they have been following you for a while, whether they're your friends, whether they're your peers, whatever it is. These are people that you have already in your world. They are the warmest people. Cold leads, if you go viral, cold leads are going to be the hardest leads to convert. If you do ads, those are going to be the hardest leads to convert. Those are the leads that maybe will take a few years to convert. But when you have people already in your world and you speak to those, if you start thinking of them as clients, as people who actually want what you have to offer, and you shift your entire mentality from, oh, I need more people. No, you actually don't need more people. You just need to be more compelling, and you need to actually treat the current people that you have in your audience as buyers, as people who want what you have to offer, instead of treating them as they don't want what I have, which is totally one of the things we talked about in part 2, shifting the mentality that you have about your current audience. When I think about my audience as people that want what I have to offer, as people that they just need to hear just one more thing, they just need to see one more thing from me, then it inspires me to show up for them every single day. And that's how I continue to build trust. And that's how I continue to attract clients. So think about word of mouth as something that you can influence. Word of mouth can actually be influenced by simply saying the thing that you want your clients to remember repeatedly every single day. And we talked about this on part 2. So word of mouth creates referrals, right? But how do we create referrals even if people are not talking about us? You actually have complete control and influence on the amount of referrals that you get, even if people are not talking to you. Let me tell you how. You can influence your current audience mind by showing them the examples of the people that you have worked with. Simple as that. When I had only one premium client, one client that had paid me $10,000, I remember I talked about this client, not mentioning their name, not mentioning anything personal, but I just talked about every single one of the sessions that we had because they were so powerful. And I would just say, today I was speaking to a client, or the other day I had a session with a client, and they were telling me how they were struggling with X. And here's how I guided them through that. Or here's what we did on the session, and here's where they ended up. And I just completely talked about this client as if it was, as if I had 100 clients, but I would just talk about every single one of the sessions. So you guys, let's say you offer 6 months of coaching, and each one of those packages has 3 coaching calls a month. You have essentially 24 opportunities to write about the same client, even if you get no more clients in 6 months. It's your job to really focus on what you do have. If you have one client, treat that as if you had 100 of them, and really talk about this client and think about ways of talking about the problem. Even if you don't talk about the person specifically, think about the problem that they're experiencing when they come to you to a session. And what are the things that you did in order to shift these things? And you can completely keep them anonymous so that you don't have to, if it's sensitive, you don't want to share, or because let's just say you only have one client. And that is going to create people referring you to others who might have a similar problem. So you don't have to wait to get referrals and to have word of mouth. You don't have to sit around and be like, well, people are not referring me. Like, so what? Don't wait. It's your job. You actually can influence. Word of mouth is simply created by people having an amazing experience with you. And if you talk about the amazing experiences that your clients are having with you without even giving them a name, that is how you create a word of mouth. That is how you create the thought in your clients' minds of, wow, this coach can actually help me with the problems that I have. So it goes together, right? We talk about the process that we have, and then we talk about how our clients are improving or are progressing through the process that we take them through every single one of our sessions. So what I recommend is that you treat this one client that you have, even if they have not paid you, I don't care, wherever you're at, or even the mastermind that you have with 24 clients, treat every single one of those sessions as a gold mine for content, and create space to maybe rewatch the call or have some time after the call with empty space on your calendar to write down what was the biggest breakthrough, what was a takeaway. And then you can write content around it. You can write content that is going to bust a myth. You can write content that is a story about the client. I mean, you can write so many different types of content. You can turn one thing into at least 9 pieces of content. That's how I help my clients create content for days, just by following the process that we teach inside of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. Content just becomes so easy. There's just an abundance of ideas because they have a different way of relating to the clients that they currently have, and how they can generate word of mouth and referrals, even if other people maybe just referred you once, you get a few clients, but they're just not going to occupy. Like, we can't ask our clients to talk about us all the time. I mean, I do have like 10% of my clients who are always referring me clients, and they're always saying how amazing their experience was, but I'm not going to force them to do that. That is just because they desire to. And so I have to remember, or I get to remember, that I have full control and influence over that. That's why in my marketing, some of the things that have worked so well for me in the past is that my clients see that there's so much potential because of their results and the testimonials that I have created. So they have not been created by chance. I have not just randomly come up with these testimonials or very forcefully done it. It literally just came from me saying, you are an example of what's possible. And I love talking about my clients. And now people want to put me on their vision board because they want to be the next success story. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, wait, what? People put you on a vision board? Like, that's next level. And I'm like, yeah, this happens often. And it's not because I want to put me on a pedestal, but it's because they see what is possible for them through my own storytelling, to my own remembering of telling them, hey, this is what's possible for you. I know you're going through this, or I know that you have tried things in order to solve it. Here's why it hasn't worked out. And here's how I would help you in a different capacity, or here's what you've been missing. And here's why working with me is going to create a different result, no matter how many things you have tried. So, giving your clients an amazing experience is always going to be one of the easiest ways to attract more pre-sold, pre-motivated clients. Like, I have current clients inside of my mastermind who literally were referred by people who haven't even joined yet. My followers, my audience, all of you here who are listening, you are talking about me to your friends. And your friends are joining the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind or my private coaching before you do, simply because you said, Juliana's a good coach. You should check her out. And they just went for it. So it's like you cannot control how people come, how quick they make a decision. Your only job as a coach is to speak highly of your clients, speak highly of the people that you're helping, because why wouldn't you when you have such a high opinion of yourself and of your clients? Like, I can only say amazing things about my clients because that's how I view them. That's how I see them. It doesn't matter if I've ever had difficult clients. Like, I'm never going to talk about my difficult clients. Why would I want to talk about my difficult clients? That's just not something that future Juliana would do. It's not something that is interesting to my potential client. I do talk about what it takes to succeed in my programs, and I always bring it back to the character traits that they need to have. But I don't spend my time complaining about my clients, complaining about how it didn't go well. Why would I do that? Like, that is just non-premium marketing. So your only job as a coach is to focus on the people that are amazing as a client, speak so highly of them because they are an example of what's possible. And the more that you do that, the more that you create a culture in your space and in your containers of everybody here wins. But that only happens because that's how you need to think. And the final touch that I want to give you on all of this is that the way that you feel about your clients is really important. People really notice that. And this is something that I do very differently that compared to other coaches. I believe this is what I've been told. I don't pay attention to other coaches, but my clients tell me that the reason why they bought from me is because they felt like I actually really cared about them. And to survive, to thrive, and to really do amazing things in the coaching industry, it doesn't take much. It's not complicated. It's not like, oh my God, I have to be a funnel hacker. All of those things are just not required. When people feel your heart, when people feel like your heart's in it, and that even if you have one client, you're really going to care about them, they're going to feel held. They're going to feel touched. They're going to feel like they're going to have someone in their corner that's not just going to just take their money and go, take their money and forget about them. And that's one of the things that I feel so proud of, that I actually genuinely care because I love coaching and I care about my clients so deeply. And when I say I care, I don't mean I handhold my clients because I know that's not healthy. What I do is I deeply believe that they are in the right place, that the universe brought us together for a reason, and that everything that they feel they cannot do that is in the way of them creating the desired result that they have is something that is 100% solvable, and that I am fully capable of helping them figure out, that helping them think through, or even just holding the space for them to come up with the solution that they always needed. So when you allow yourself to be the type of coach that lets their heart shine because you genuinely care about people, you will always have people coming to you pre-sold, pre-motivated, ready to go because they feel you. They just feel that you care. They're not just slashing their prices and 50% because they need cash. Like, that is so easy to feel. Like, I see people slashing their prices in half just to get money, and I can just tell that is really not because it's in the favor of the client, but it's because they need cash flow. And you just feel it. I mean, I know that I can feel it. And that's why I'm not against discounts. Like, I'm just not, people do whatever they want. But normally, majority of the time, I see people discounting their prices, or I see coaches discounting their prices because they just don't believe that they can sell at the price that they want, or they don't believe that their clients are capable of paying them. And that's just not how I think about my clients. My clients are so resourceful. I believe my clients are already there. They're already listening. They want to work with me, and that they just need to hear just one more thing. They already heard everything they needed. They're just figuring it out. And my only job is to hold the vision that they're coming and feel the feeling of, oh my God, they are here, they are here, they're here. And I enamor myself with the vision of us ending the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, celebrating their amazing transformation. That's where I live. That's where majority of my time is spent in my brain. I don't think about where are they. I don't think why haven't they come. I don't think why are they giving me objections. Right? I'm like, it's okay. All is well. I just know we're going to be celebrating in 3 months all the miracles and all the magic that you created. I know that when you join the Momentum Mastermind after Magnetize, a year later, you're going to be like, holy shit, look at what we did. And that is the feeling that I let myself play in every single day for majority of the time. Because I know that when I do that, the result happens faster. I attract it way faster. I rely on my logic, the marketing principles, the process, the methodology, everything that I know is required in order to enroll my clients into a program that I know is the best thing for them. And I also let the energy of God, I know that you're bringing them to me, and I know that they're going to create amazing results beyond what I can possibly imagine. And let them know that it's safe to come. It's safe for them to be a yes today. And I just let that energy be the most dominant vibe. And that's how you magnetize pre-sold, pre-motivated people, because you are pre-sold, you are pre-motivated, you believe in them ahead of time, you believe in yourself ahead of time. So it's impossible for people to not have the same opinion about themselves and about you. So with that said, this is the end of this sweet series, and just get ready because I have some really incredible topics that are very personal, things that I have really been working on, being very exposed about, that have happened over the past year that I've never talked about, and that is going to come next week. I am a little bit nervous to share all of this very publicly because it's something that was very tender, but I'm very excited to share it all with you. But for now, go ahead, and the homework for this week is to really notice what your process is. What is your method? What is the process that you take your clients through? Make sure that you articulate it in a way that they can understand and that they think, oh, yes, I want that step. Oh, yes, I want that step. And if you don't know how to do that, I invite you to enroll to the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. We are in pre-enrollment early bird season. So you get $1,000 off the price. You get access to the Momentum Mastermind so that we can get started coaching right now. As soon as you are ready to join, you get instant access. That way you don't have to wait until we begin coaching Magnetize in 2025. And also you get a one-on-one coaching call with me when you pay in full. So this is the best time to join, and I can't wait to see you in there. All right, my loves, I love you all so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look, I'm going to be honest. I never like leaving reviews or sharing episodes unless it's something that really moved me. So if this show resonated with you today, please leave a review. It would mean the world to me. And send it to somebody who really wants to know the raw, exposed truth about what it really takes to create $1 million business and a delicious life. And as a thank you, I'm gifting you a free mini course about the 3 mistakes that coaches make that repel premium clients and how to fix it so that you can start attracting clients now. Check out the show notes to access it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.